The Iraqi Dinar Revaluation is real, a new era for Iraq and global investors. A monumental development has just reshaped the global financial order. After years of rumor, skepticism, and anticipation, the Iraqi dinar has officially undergone a revaluation. Trusted sources within Iraq's financial and governmental sectors have verified the news, and the country has already begun circulating newly issued lower-denomination banknotes. This moment marks the start of a historic transformation in Iraq's economic system, one that has profound implications for currency holders, investors, and financial institutions worldwide. This is not merely another round of speculation. The revaluation is a confirmed reality, signaling a foundational shift in Iraq's monetary structure. For those who have held dinars over the years, often amid controversy and doubt, the landscape has suddenly changed, and the focus now must be on how to respond strategically to this change. A long-awaited breakthrough. Welcome to Iraqi Dinar RV, your trusted voice for reliable, confirmed updates on global currency movements, particularly the developments surrounding the Iraqi dinar. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, has officially confirmed the introduction of new lower-denomination notes, and these are now being used by citizens for everyday transactions. This change represents more than just a new look for Iraq's currency. It reflects a fundamental policy overhaul designed to modernize the nation's financial systems. This is not a symbolic gesture. Iraqi banks are actively upgrading their processes to comply with global banking norms, including international transfer protocols and financial reporting standards. The implementation of modern banking tools, compliance with SWIFT, and alignment with Basel III regulatory frameworks all signal Iraq's serious intent to become a credible player in the global economy. The meaning behind the lower denominations. The release of new, smaller denomination notes marks a turning point in Iraq's economic vision. These aren't just technical adjustments. They represent a deliberate strategy to shift away from an economy reliant on inflated currency notes toward one that reflects accurate purchasing power and modern financial practices. Phasing out high-denomination notes helps restore everyday functionality to the Iraqi dinar, making it easier for citizens to transact, save, and invest. This move boosts trust in the currency at home, while sending a strong message to the global community that Iraq is serious about fiscal responsibility and long-term reform. A strategic pivot, not just a windfall. For investors, this revaluation is more than a fleeting opportunity. It's the beginning of a structural shift in Iraq's financial architecture. The new monetary framework lays the groundwork for enhanced trade, improved public confidence, and a stronger, more resilient domestic economy. These changes are expected to attract foreign capital and encourage broader investment across infrastructure, energy, agriculture, and services. While some may be tempted to cash in on the revaluation immediately, financial experts advise against making hasty decisions. The real value of the revaluation may take time to fully emerge as Iraq's economy stabilizes and integrates further with the global marketplace. Investors should consult financial planners and tax advisors before making any moves, particularly considering the potential impact of capital gains taxes and reporting obligations. Years of work come to fruition. The revaluation is the result of years of strategic planning and international support. Under the guidance of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, World Bank, and other institutions, the Central Bank of Iraq has worked steadily to implement safeguards against inflation, improve foreign reserves, and stabilize the exchange rate. Unlike sudden currency shocks that often lead to volatility, Iraq's approach has been measured and deliberate. By pursuing a phased transition, the CBI has maintained internal stability while laying a solid foundation for external investor confidence. This roadmap aligns with Iraq's broader 2025 economic reform agenda, which emphasizes sustainable development, economic diversification, and international partnerships. International reaction and readiness. Financial institutions around the world are now scrambling to accommodate Iraq's new status. Foreign exchange desks across Europe, North America, and Asia are adjusting their forecasts and recalibrating models. Banks and brokerage houses that once dismissed the dinar as too risky are reassessing its potential in light of recent developments. The CBI's compliance with global regulatory standards has significantly enhanced Iraq's credibility. Large institutional investors, previously wary of exposure to the dinar, are now expressing interest, studying the implications of a stable and potentially appreciating Iraqi currency. In regional and global trade, Iraq is shifting from a dependent state to an active partner. This transformation is unlocking new commercial agreements across the Middle East and attracting capital from the Gulf, Asia, and beyond. A domestic reboot. What this means for Iraqis. Inside Iraq, the introduction of lower denomination notes has immediate and tangible effects. Citizens, who previously relied on large value bills in unstable economic conditions, now have access to practical, everyday currency. This supports a more inclusive financial system, empowering small businesses, encouraging retail transactions, and promoting savings. Merchants and service providers are revising pricing systems, while banks are upgrading ATMs, mobile payment apps, and digital banking interfaces to support the new currency structure. As confidence in the dinar grows, consumer spending and economic activity are on the rise. The increased velocity of money, a measure of how quickly money circulates in the economy, is a strong sign of growing trust and economic health. Guidance for dinar holders abroad. If you're holding Iraqi dinars outside Iraq, this is a pivotal moment. Immediate action is essential, but it must be informed and strategic. Begin by verifying your currency through licensed dealers or brokers to ensure authenticity. Then research financial institutions in your region to determine which banks are prepared for dinar exchanges. Not all institutions will be ready at the same time, and compliance with Know Your Customer (KYC) and anti-money laundering (AML) regulations will vary by jurisdiction. Engaging with professional advisors is highly recommended. Tax implications, particularly in jurisdictions with capital gains tax, could significantly affect your profits if not handled correctly. Establishing a diversified post-exchange investment plan across real estate, equities, or other asset classes can help you preserve and grow your wealth over the long term. More than a currency event. This revaluation is not just a headline. It's a historic financial turning point. Iraq is transitioning from an economy defined by conflict, inflation, and uncertainty to one driven by transparency, modernization, and sustainable growth. The revaluation is the outward signal of deeper reforms, institutional accountability, currency stability, and a commitment to international cooperation. For the global economy, Iraq's move is another signal that emerging markets are becoming more sophisticated and interconnected. For individual investors, it's a rare window of opportunity that requires careful planning and decisive action. Final thoughts. The Iraqi dinar's revaluation is no longer a rumor. It is a confirmed, measurable event backed by government policy and international oversight. Lower denomination notes are in public use. Global banking networks are taking notice, and economic reform in Iraq is fully underway. This marks not just the rise of a national currency, but the rebirth of a country into the global financial system. Those who hold dinar should not act on impulse, but rather prepare with discipline, professional advice, and long-term vision. The financial future being shaped today could define wealth trajectories for years, perhaps decades, to come. Disclaimer: this article is intended for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice. The foreign exchange market is inherently risky and prone to misinformation. Consult with qualified professionals before making any investment decision. Iraqi Dinar RV is not liable for any losses or damages resulting from the use or reliance on this content.